you're crying, it will be alright. Just take my hand, hold it tight. I will protect you from all around you. I will be here, don't you cry. For one so small, you seem so strong. My arms will hold you, keep you safe and warm. This bond between us can't be broken. I will be here, don't you cry. 'Cause you'll be in my heart. Yes, you'll be in my heart. From this day on, now and forevermore. Why can't they understand the way we feel? They just don't trust what they can't explain. I know we're different, but deep inside us, we're not that different at all. 'Cause you'll be in my heart. Yes, you'll be in my heart. From this day on, now and forevermore. You'll be in my heart. No matter what they say, you'll be here in my heart always. Don't listen to them, 'cause what do they know? We need each other to have to hold. They'll see in time, I know. When destiny calls you, you must be strong. I may not be with you, but you've got to hold on. They'll see in time, I know. We'll show them together, 'cause you'll be in my heart. Believe me, you'll be in my heart. I'll be there from this day on, now and forevermore. You'll be in my heart. No matter what they say, you'll be here in my heart always. Always. I'll be with you. I'll be there for you. Just look over your shoulders. Just look over your shoulders.
Good morning, family and friends, and welcome to the service today for Margaret Jane Keans, a remarkable lady. May I ask you at this moment, please turn your phones off for the duration of this service if you haven't already done so. My name is Paul Guy. I was both pleased and I'm both honoured to be asked by Margaret's sisters Sandra and Mary to look after Margaret for her service this morning. I had the awesome privilege to meet Margaret at the nursing home recently, and to be the one that had the awesome privilege to walk her out. And this is so that she could start her journey to freedom and to go home to heaven. Margaret would not want us to mark her passing with grief or sadness, but to remember her for the fine lady she was, the smiles, the laughter, her giggles, as well as the things she did, the special moments, the special memories that she shared with us all. And when you're feeling your loss of Margaret and it starts to overcome you, I ask you to take time and remember her song, "You'll Always Be in My Heart." And that was played as you came in today. Margaret's sister's family are comforted by your attendance here today. Some of you have travelled long distances, and the kind support you've expressed, the thoughtful ways both now and before and after Margaret's passing. On the behalf of the family, I'd also like to take this very special moment in time to thank the staff of Fairfield Nursing Home for their care and the support in the nearly 10 years that Margaret was in their care after she moved in to the home on the 15th of October 2007. Especially Sister Sue, Sister Vicky, who was there right from the start, and a special mention to her roommate Pat, and I did have the privilege to meet her too, and she was a lovely lady, for her friendship and her love. In almost 10 years, you all became her family. I ask you too to please take comfort in knowing that she is now free. I'd like to take this time and invite Jeff, Margaret's brother-in-law, to come forward and share a very, very special poem. And the author is unknown, and it's called "Miss Me, But Let Me Go."
When I come to the end of the road and the sun has set me free, I want no rights in a gloom-filled room. Why cry for a soul set free? Miss me little, but not too long, and not with your head bowed low. Remember the love that we once shared. Miss me, but let me go. For this is a journey that we all must take, and each must go alone. It's all part of the Master's plan, a step on the road to home. When you are lonely and sick of heart, go to the friends we know, and bury your sorrows in doing the good deeds. Miss me, but let me go. Author unknown. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff, for sharing that special poem. It does mean a lot to everyone here this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to share you with a eulogy. Margaret was born at home on the 15th of October 1953 in Glasgow, Scotland, and the much-loved daughter of Robert and Ina Duncan, and she was the older sister to Mary and Sandra. You know, Margaret would have been nearly 3 years old when she arrived in Australia after sailing 6 long weeks on the Fair Sky ship on arrival on the 3rd of September 1956. You know, she could lay to fame she's been on a cruise. A bus took them to Fairy Meadow Hostel from Sydney, and this would be their home for about 2 years. And at that time, her dad had managed to get a job with the steelworks at Port Kembla. Late 1958, they relocated to Bunurong Hostel to be close to family that had just arrived from Scotland. And so Margaret and her family moved many times, and this included living in La Perouse, Pagewood, Hillview, and I learned something that's also known as Casula. And with this, it meant she attended many schools. And she started her schooling at Matraville Public School, and this followed by La Perouse Public, Pagewood Public, Preston's Public, and then on to Lunier High School. And leaving at the age of 15 back then wasn't an issue because you could. And with that, she started work. So Margaret started working in a shoe store in Liverpool called Fricker's Shoe Store. And being her first job, it was a learning experience. And I'm not sure whether Fricker's went out of business because of Margaret, but I'll share a little gem with you. I'm sure Margaret learnt many things, but one of those things was the sisters remembered the most. Was her telling a lady that had come into the store looking for some fine shoes and trying them on as you do. She told them, "You can get them cheaper down the road." The only thing wrong was the owner of the store was behind her and heard her tell her that they could go down the road and get these shoes cheaper. So, you know, that was the end of her shoe selling career. Margaret then decided to try a hand in clerical work, and with this started working in a plumbing company called GE Cranes in Burwood. And this would last about a year before changing jobs and moving on to work for Arnott's in the head office in Homebush, doing clerical work. It would have been 18 months later when she left to have her first child, Sharon. You know, Margaret had several more jobs, and this included doing night shift for Cotty's Cordials in the production line, her last job being at Teagle's Turkey Farm at Talmore, and from what I understand, she loved it. Margaret met the love of her life at the local dance, and she was taken by this rich kid down the road. He invited her out on the date to the local fire brigade dance. Some say he made a mistake at the time because he introduced her to Jimmy. And he ended up finding out what a beautiful lady she was. And Margaret found out what the true meaning was, love at first sight. So on the 6th of November 1971, she married the love of her life, Jimmy, and sadly he passed away this year in the 5th of January. They started married life in a one-bedroom granny flat in Beach Road in Casula, and later purchasing their very own flat in Charles Street, Liverpool. And I believe that would have been an exciting time at that time to buy a flat. In 1972, they welcomed Sharon, their firstborn daughter, and in 1974 saw the arrival of their second daughter, Michelle. August 1980, they moved to their dream home after they'd sold their flat, and they built at 6 Rita Street, Thelmere. And this was proud to be a homeowner, not just a flat owner, but a homeowner. And it enabled them to host the Christmas for the family, and what a proud time that was for them. She was also proud to welcome a purebred German shepherd named Gretel into the family that she took to dog shows. And my understanding is she won many ribbons. As most of you know, Margaret had many interests in her life, and this included teddy bears, and as you can see, we have 2 on her casket. They were specially made for today. Knitting was one of what she learned from her mum, and while she was good at it, she felt that her mum was always better than she was. She loved cooking and collecting recipe cards and cookbooks. She loved food, and this included buying 4 chocolate bars at a time and eating them. I wonder if they were time-out bars. And when she was pregnant, she had a craving for bananas, and she'd buy a bunch every day and eat them. She also loved prawns and eating out. She loved to collect Franklin Mint decorator plates. The tiger and the unicorn plate gave her much joy. Music was another of her passions, ranging from Glenn Campbell, Jay Justin, the Monkees, the Beatles, Gene Pitney, Ray Orbison, and the Hollies, and that's just to mention a few. She loved to have music everywhere, and this included having a radio at the side of her bed when she was in the nursing home, and she shared that with everyone else in the room. Another of Margaret's passions was, when is it your birthday? And by the way, what is it the artist you like listening to, and what's the music? And with that, she'd find out by asking you. And the reason for that was so that she could buy you that album. Music was her passion. And birthdays was a pleasure to be able to give music to someone. Travelling was another part of her life, and I think that started with her coming to Australia. This included going to the Gold Coast, Katoomba, even staying at the Hydro Majestic Hotel, camping in Tumut, Burleigh Heads. She loved her holidays, and she had a time to share and she had time to go to places. And she had what is called a timeshare thing, which allowed her to book venues at cheap rates. And that was just to mention a few. You know, she had a passion for the old TV shows as well, and this included The Young and the Restless, The Days of Our Lives, Home and Away, Happy Days, and I'm sure there was many more that I could mention, but there are just a few. She had a passion for driving. She sometimes had a lead foot, and I find that really hard to believe. She had many cars, and this included a Holden station wagon, a Toyota Corolla station wagon, a Nissan Bluebird, and that was nicknamed Newie. And that was because it was brand new when she got it. You know, one of the saddest days in Margaret's life was in 1996. And sadly, she had to hand over her driver's licence, and that was due to a medical condition. I'm sure that would have been extremely difficult. Margaret had 4 grandchildren. Jason, born in 1992, Brenton, born in 1998. Tiana, born in 2001, and Jamie, born in 2002. Margaret loved to laugh, she loved to giggle, she loved to sing, and she loved to dream. And I saw some of those videos that Sandra had taken in the nursing home, and she looked wonderful. She giggled, she laughed, and she looked happy. Margaret was a love sister, a granddaughter, a cousin, a niece, a wife, a mother, a sister-in-law, an aunt, a grandmother, and a friend to many of you here today. In a moment, family and friends, we're going to have a photo tribute that has been there for memorable times and moments, and it'll share some of the things that Margaret did, her life. I ask you to take this time as we pause and watch the photo tribute prepared by Margaret's sister, Sandra, to reflect on what Margaret meant to you and how she touched your life. The moments of joy, the moments of sadness, to remember Margaret for who she was, as we listen to the backing music, Beautiful Dreamer, performed by Dean Bourne, Australia's Roy Orbison. And it'll be followed by Reminiscing by Jay Justin, who was also her favourite artist. I ask you not to dwell on the time that she was unwell, but to think of the time that she was full of life, full of joy, and the way she lived it.
Beautiful dreamer, wake unto me. Starlight and dewdrops are waiting for thee. Sounds of the rude world heard in the day, lulled by the moonlight, have all passed away. Beautiful dreamer, queen of my song, list while I woo thee with soft melody. Gone are the cares of life's busy throng. Beautiful dreamer, awake unto me. Beautiful am I reminiscing about the things that we went through. Here am I feeling lonely without you by my side, just left with tears and sadness, the things I have to hide. Oh, the good times and the bad times together we went through. Those moments gone forever, they're all I'm clinging to. Now I'm left with only memories of days that have gone by, never to return again, no matter how I try, just reminiscing, reminiscing over you. Reminiscing is all I seem to do. You know, the first day I met you, darling, the sun seemed to shine the whole day through, and the stars at night seemed bigger and brighter than ever before. Or at least that's the way I felt then. It's hard to understand that after all the wonderful things we did together, somewhere, somehow, something went wrong. I still, even now, can't believe you're gone. Oh, the world was made for lovers, but lovers drift apart. Now I'm a lonely lover, left with my broken heart, just reminiscing, reminiscing over you. Reminiscing is all I seem to do, just reminiscing, reminiscing over you. Reminiscing is all I seem to do.
Thank you, thank you. We're now going to have a quiet reflection as my assistant Liz comes forward with some special pink roses, and they're arranged by Margaret's sisters, Sandra and Mary, both as a tribute for respect and love for their sister this morning. Sandra and Mary, would you like to come forward and take one of those roses? And as you take them, please take your time. Friends and family, if you'd like to come forward, if you've got a tribute that you'd like to place on the coffin with Margaret, or if you'd like to just come and select a pink rose, please do so. And as you do come forward, please take your time. Remember, there is no rush. It's your time. you, family and friends. It's an important time to reflect and to think of who she was and what she achieved. I ask as time goes on, you reflect on those good things, the things that she did, the things she taught you, and who she was in your life. Family and friends, may I ask you please be upstanding and feel free to join with me in a moment in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our sins, as we forgive those who sin against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For the kingdom and the power and the glory is yours, now and forever. Amen. Please be seated. I'd like to now invite Margaret's brother-in-law's daughter, Karen, to come forward and share a special poem. She was going to be coming forward with her dad this morning, Alan, but he's had a family crisis and he apologises that he can't be here. Are you here? He's here. He snuck in. If you want to come forward, Alan, you can come forward too. The author of this poem is called The Final Flight.
Okay, thank you. The Final Flight, unknown author. Don't grieve for me, for now I'm free. I'm following the path God laid for me. I took his hand when I heard his call. I turned my back and left it all. I could not stay another day, to laugh, to love, to work, to play. Task left undone must stay that way. I found peace at the end of the day. If my parting has left a void, then fill it with remembered joy. A friendship shared, a laugh, a kiss. Ah yes, these things too I will miss. Be not burdened with times of sorrow. I wish you the sunshine of tomorrow. My life's been full, I savoured much. Good friends, good times, a loved one's touch. Perhaps my time seemed all too brief. Don't lengthen it now with undue grief. Lift up your heart and share with me. God wanted me now, he set me free.
Thank you, Karen, for sharing that poem this morning. It truly, truly is an amazing poem. It's a pity we don't know who the author is. Family and friends, even though this is a sad time in our lives, it should also be a time of thankfulness for the opportunity you have had to share your life with Margaret, the influences she had on us, the things she taught, her values and the things that she gave. Let us take the final step of reverently acknowledging that Margaret has already begun her new journey. Remember, death is not the end, but the pinnacle of which is to value life, and that life is to be appreciated. I believe the poem in a moment that I'm going to share with you says it all, and it's called Thinking of Love. Margaret, we thought of you with love today, but that was nothing new. We thought about you yesterday, Margaret, and the days before that too. We think of you in silence, and we often speak your name. All we have are your memories, Margaret, and you in a picture frame. Your memory is our keepsake, in which we will never part. God has taken you into his keeping, and we have you in our hearts. Margaret, 1,000,000 times we've wanted you, 1,000,000 times we've cried. If love could have only saved you, you never would have died. It broke our hearts to lose you. But you didn't go alone, for a part of us went with you too, the day God called you home. Margaret, this is not goodbye, but it's thank you. Thank you for touching our hearts and our lives, for those who love you. Thank you for your memories, for your love, your laughter, for your being you. You leave this world a better place for being a part of it. Margaret, your life we honour, your departure we accept, your memory we will cherish forever. And in grief of your death, but in the gratitude of your life, for the privilege of sharing it with you, and we commit your body to God's keeping today. And we ask that you may fly free and your spirit become free, and peace be with you eternally. Today, Margaret's family and sisters have requested today the curtains remain open. Family and friends, in a moment, we'll be putting on some music for you to listen to. And it's called I Want to Be Free by Davy Jones and the Monkees. There is no urgency to get up and leave, so please stay as long as you need. And as you do leave the chapel, I ask you to wave farewell. It's not goodbye, it's till we meet again. And this concludes this morning's service. On the behalf of the family, I'd like to thank you for coming. I'd like to thank you for your special thoughts, for the special things you do and the things you've done. I ask that you share the memories and never forget who Margaret was. And shortly after this, we'll be adjourning outside to the garden out there. And this will be followed by refreshments in the coffee shop, and that'll be starting soon. But there is time for you to say goodbye. Thank you.
I wanna be free, like the bluebirds flying by me, like the waves out on the blue sea. If your love has to tie me, don't try me, say goodbye. Say you love me, say you like me, but when I need you beside me, stay close enough to guide me, confide in me, whoa, whoa. I wanna hold your hand, walk along the sand, laughing in the sun, always having fun, doing all those things without any strings to tie me down. I wanna be free, like the warm September wind, babe. Say you'll always be my friend, babe. We can make it to the end, babe. Again, babe, I've gotta say